Hi, welcome to How to Repair. In this video I'll be showing you on the Gorenje machine what F4 means as an error code. On this machine F4 is actually a motor fault. On early models that will be something to do with either the carbon brushes or the motor itself, or possibly something to do with the wiring. But on later models with the inverter motor you may have a problem with either the printed circuit board, the motor or the wiring harness, but you'll need to see the full tutorial for information on this. So now we've ascertained that we have an F4 error code. As I said, on other models you may not have an LCD display, you may just have a lighting sequence which will actually show you the error code as F4 according to your manual. What we need to do is actually turn the machine round, take the back off the machine or the base. Some of these machines, the base of the machine will come off, others you can remove the motor from the back. So what we'll do is unplug the machine from the electricity supply and we'll take the motor out. Right, now we've got the machine turned round, unplugged, we need to remove the back cover. Usually 2 to 4 screws. Watch the location lugs at the top, that slides away. Next thing we need to do is remove the belt. Watch your fingers on the pulley wheel, just turn the drum and pull the belt slightly towards you and the belt will come off. Now the next thing is we've got 2 bolts on the motor which hold the motor in place, but the first thing we need to do is disconnect the wiring harness. Straightforward block connector and an earth wire. Now we're ready to take the motor out. The 2 bolts are located here. These are 10mm. On some models of the machine they may be 13mm. I'm using a quarter drive socket set which is available at the website with both extension bars so you don't cut your hand on the perimeter here. Now the 2 bolts are out, we're ready to remove the motor. Now you might find the motor difficult to get off the lugs. You can either use a short dumpy screwdriver or I've got a curvature bar here and I just slot it in here and lever it towards me just to loosen it up off the lugs. Then put your hand underneath. Remember these edges can be sharp. The motor will drop down. And now we're ready to slide the motor out. And there we go. And as I said, you have 2 types of motor. One is a brush motor, and as you can see here there are 2 carbon brushes located on this motor. On later models you have inverter technology, which is a 3-phase motor usually, with a circuit board that controls that motor. And they do get faults as well, but that's usually the motor that goes, the hall sensor, circuit board or possibly a wiring fault. But I can deal with these in other videos. So here we have the motor. Now on a lot of Gorenje machines and other manufacturers you cannot always go by the model number to get the part. This is because the manufacturers during mid-production may change the motor type and therefore it would be different carbon brushes. So we'll have a quick look at this motor. This is a good indication. It's a CZ motor, okay? The manufacturer's details are all here, but the most important thing to understand is this is a C-set motor. Now if you type that into our website and put the word carbon brush in, you'll get a selection of different types of C-set. Now if you follow my instructions, once we've got these carbon brushes off and had a look at them, we'll be able to work out which ones you need. 2 screws on the carbon brush on each side. And as you can see, the carbon brush is fully worn down. I have a new one here to show you in comparison. And as you can see, This carbon brush is completely worn away. It's gone a charcoaly type surface where the new brush is slightly shiny. If they're shiny, they're usually in good condition, but you can see the distance. Now let me remove the wire. These wires have a locking tab. You need to press these down and slide out. Now the first thing you need to do when ordering carbon brushes is firstly note the angle. Looking from the top is at the left, sloping to the right. So we look at the carbon brush, the new one. Again, top is on the left, sloping to the right. The next most important thing is the location lugs. Some brushes have location lugs in the middle, some have them at the front, and these have them at the back with the screw holes at the front. And the last thing to note is the size of the terminal for the spade connector. And these are 4.8, the small type. There is a larger standard size spade connector, but they're the new carbon brushes. Now I'm going to go ahead and replace these, but let me just point out, when your carbon brushes are delivered, sometimes they have a locking tab on the end of it. This is holding the brush in place while in transit so that it doesn't snap. Just break that off and now the brush is ready to load. Either enter a short description into the search box or use the layered navigation. There are tabs in the middle of the screen which will take you to parts or tutorials when you refine your search. Using the layered navigation, enter your make, model and the type of part you're looking for. When you have found the parts, check that the part is correct. Check in the manufacturer's brand that your model is listed correctly. Then add it to cart and go to the checkout page. Please fill all the information in correctly, as our staff are always here to help you. If you need help, use our contact us page. Whether you're looking for a part or needing help on your appliance, please fill in the form correctly using your make and model number, serial number when you have it, and put a detailed description of either the part that you are looking for or a detailed description of the fault that you have. Thanks very much indeed for watching this video. Please enjoy using the website. Before I do that, let me just note one thing. You will see the armature here is slightly scored, but putting my finger on it, I can't feel any raised lugs. So that is in reasonable condition. You could clean the surface up with some very, very fine wet and dry paper, or I have a special stick which I use, which is a carbon armature cleaner. So just bear with me while I get that for you. So this is my stick that I use, and I just put it on and just turn the armature while holding it flat. Don't need to press hard or anything. And you can do this with wet and dry as well. And it just cleans up the surface, as you can see here. And now we're ready to install the new brushes. So remember, the lugs must go on to their location. And just protect the carbon as you're sliding it on. Once you've got it in place, replace the two screws. You only need to do them up tight and quarter of a turn. And then replace the wire. And these wires can just sit down. On the early types they did have a location lug, some of them don't for the wiring. If you're unsure, you can always put a cable tie on, and on the other side exactly the same. Just remove the screws. Brush slides away, and as you can see, this one has got a little bit of a shine to it, but you can actually see that the armature has been cutting into the brush. Undo the clip, press down and slide back. This one's a little tight, I'll have to use the edge of a screwdriver. And now you can replace it with the new one. Make sure it sits nicely in the location lugs. Get a screw in straight away. Slide the wire back on. And there we go, ready to install the motor. Okay, we've got the motor here now. We'll just drop it down sideways. Watch your fingers. Lie the motor on the bottom. And take it up to line it onto the lugs. Slide it backwards. Now we're ready to put the 2 bolts in. And connect the earth wire. Always important, make sure you connect the earth wire. That's your protection system. When you actually do up the 2 bolts, it's a very useful tool is these impactors. It makes life a lot easier if you're doing this on a regular basis. But never do them up all the way. Just leave them with a little bit to go and then do them by hand, and this will stop you ever snapping the plastic lugs. So just tight and then quarter the turn. We'll put the belt on next. The easy way to put the belt on is always put it onto the motor and you'll see a shiny area where the belt originally sat on. So if you put the belt on there, take it up to the top and then rotate the drum and make sure the belt is sitting in the middle of the pulley wheel. And that's lovely, that's all done. Just put the back of the machine on now, and then we'll turn the machine round and put it onto a spin cycle to test the machine. So now we've got the machine all back together. What I normally recommend is on the first cycle, always make sure you haven't got a load in the machine. It's just while you're getting the carbon brushes seated onto the armature. They need to do 1 spin cycle to actually seat nicely on the armature of the motor, and this stops it sparking and causing any additional damage. So we'll just plug the machine in, select spin cycle, press start, and in a few seconds the drum will start turning. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you to repair the machine. Remember to buy the parts off us. And if you did find this video helpful, remember you can always support the website by donating to the website on Buy Paul a Beer page. Thank you very much indeed for watching this video. And if you need other videos on any other appliance repairs, you will find them at the website. Thanks very much for watching.